I have been reading a lot lately, so let's chat. Hey guys, April here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another Comic Corner. We're going to keep that name for the moment. Where I'm going to talk about some recent comics that I have been enjoying and a few that I've just recently picked up. We're going to do it guerrilla style here on the floor. I hope you don't mind. We got a lot to cover, so let's get started. First up, we have Once and Future. This is written by Kieran Gillen, the art is done by Dan Mora, and the colors are done by Tamra Bonneville. This is distributed by Boom Studios. This is the first issue. This is one of my favorite stories right now. Think Excalibur meets the Mummy. It centers around Bridget and Duncan McGuire. That's them. And Bridget is a senior woman who is convalescing or hiding in an old folks home when she hears about a murder and theft at an archaeological dig in England. And this pretty much prompts her into action. Turns out that Bridget is a demon hunter from way back, and she knows that the artifact that they have stolen is going to be used to raise King Arthur from the dead. Now, you and I would think that wouldn't be much of a problem. All the stories I've heard of King Arthur, he was a pretty okay guy, right? Not the case. Turns out that King Arthur is this kind of tyrannical ruler who felt that England was only for the English. And when I say that, I mean kind of like in a Hitler kind of way. So he is going to be raised from the dead in order to basically do a kind of lead a genocide across the UK. But Bridget, being the demon hunter that she is on top of it. She enlists her grandson Duncan, who's kind of nebbish in the beginning, but I get the feeling that she kind of Mr. Miyagi'd him while he was growing up. So he's got some skills, okay? They are going to set out to either stop King Arthur from being raised from the dead, or at least thwart the ultimate plan of creating this kind of English genocide. The writing is so tight. Kieran Gillen, once again, the author of Wicked and the Divine and Die over at Image Comics. It's so good. His writing style is so fresh and tight and quick. I love it. You'll love it too, especially Bridget. She is a spitfire, strong female lead who takes crap from no one, not even her grandson, and she will put you down if she has to. Don't get it twisted. The art is definitely on point as well. Just some really nice shots here. Look at that. Beautiful colors, great line work. Kieran loves to partner with people who just bring such life and color to his stories. Yeah, again, this is a really great tale, a very popular story as well, because I believe issue number 1 here is either in its 7th or 8th reprint. I believe there are currently 3 issues out for this series. I don't know how long it's going to go, but ask your local comic book shops if they could either order you this copy or pick it up off the shelf. It is definitely worth the read. This is what I love from Kieran Gillen. Next up is kind of a surprise hit for me, and that is Harleen. This is written and drawn by Stefan Sejic, and it is distributed by DC Black Label in this beautiful prestige print edition, you know, these magazine size. Stefan Sejic is the #1 reason why I picked this up, because I, whether you know it or not, do not like Harley Quinn and Joker that much. I mean, I like them as foils for Batman, but I'm not interested in them in and of themselves. But I know Stefan Sejic's writing. I am familiar with him from Sunstone and a couple of other things he's done. You may know him from that or some of the work he's done for Marvel and DC. But he's a great writer, and one of the things he can do is write female characters that have weight to them. He creates characters that aren't just fantasies of someone else's vision. They are relatable, empathetic, and flawed. You understand them. And if anyone would be a perfect match for that. It would be Harleen Quinzel. Excuse me, Dr. Harleen Quinzel. That's who Harley Quinn was prior to her meeting the Joker. And that's basically what this story is about. Who Harleen Quinzel was before she met the Joker. And it is told kind of retrospectively. Harley Quinn is narrating the story. And one of the things I love about it is that she doesn't apologize for the choices that she made, but there are comments that are made that makes it seem like she is somewhat regretful. But essentially, this is a origin story for Harley Quinn. You find out a little bit about her upbringing, how her high school and college experience with, how her work in Gotham's medical institute had worked for her right up until the point she meets the Joker. And her mission is to kind of identify what makes criminals like him tick in order to develop a treatment that possibly could cure them and release them back into society. We all know how that worked out, right? And also, Stefan Sejic is a fantastic artist. Let me show you some of these pages. Just beautiful artwork, and on these oversized pages it looks fantastic. Oh, look at this. Yes. And of course, this cover is gorgeous. And this is the first issue, but the second issue has also come out. Look at that. Is that not a gorgeous cover? If you like Harley Quinn, if you're on the fence about her like I would suggest picking this up. I love this. And I can't wait till the third issue comes out. So, feeling the energy off of the Stefan Sejic's Harley Quinn book, I decided to try another one. And I picked up Joker and Harley, Criminal Sanity. It is written by Cami Garcia. The art is done by Miko Suyin and Mike Mayhew. There you go. This is also a prestige print, but it is much thinner than the traditional ones. Where most of the prestige prints are 3 issues, I believe this one is going to be either 6 or 7. It is $6, $5.99, $6. I find that extremely expensive for so much story. However, that's not really the disappointing thing. I didn't really like this story. Now, this is a definitely off-canon tale where Harley Quinn is I guess you can say a criminal profiler for the Gotham City Police Department. She may be working in a consultant capacity, and currently there is a string of murders going on in Gotham in which the officials believe may be Joker related. He was a serial killer in the past but went dormant for many years, and now they believe he is back, and they are enlisting Harley's help in tracking him down. Harley has a tragic experience with Joker from her past, and she is definitely interested in bringing him to justice. If you've seen Dexter or Hannibal or any of those, or Law and Order SVU, you pretty much get the feel of this. And I think that's one of the things I didn't like about it. It wasn't as fresh as I would have hoped it would be. I love mysteries, I love detective stories, and yet, I don't know, maybe it's the medium, but this just didn't hit like it should have. And it could also be that we just didn't have enough to begin with. There's only 1 issue out, and it's kind of thin. I keep showing you how thin it is. However, what really worked for me was the art. It definitely set a tone and an atmosphere for the story, and contributed to character development. Let's see. Like for the contemporary or present day telling, the images are in this black and white or grayscale palette. It is very atmospheric, moody, depressing, angry. However, if you go to the past, in Harley Quinn's past, it is in bright color, clear line work. It is happy, it's cheerful, hopeful, And that really does play into Harley Quinn's state of mind. In the past, when she was younger, a resident, going to medical school, living with her best friend, her life seemed hopeful and promising. And then she has this experience with the Joker, and he basically strips all of that away, leaving her cold, isolated, and bleak. The artwork really does make this story what little of there is. Now, I'm willing to give this story a chance because, again, it's such a small issue, and I know that there's a lot more issues coming, but at the price point, it is kind of a deterrent to continue. I probably wouldn't continue picking up these issues. I may wait until a bound edition is released of the whole series, because I just find this really expensive. And considering that it didn't kind of grab me right off, I don't know if I'm willing to invest that kind of money into a story that I'm only kind of ho-hum about. Now let's move on to a publisher that is becoming one of my favorites, and that is Vault. I picked up the first issue of Relics of Youth. This is written by Matt Nichols, Chad Rebman. The art is done by Skylar Partridge, and the color is done by Vladimir Popov, and the letters are done by And World Design. It's issue number 1. This is an action adventures tale about 6 teens who all have this tattoo on their bodies. I'm not sure if they got it themselves or it just appeared, but it acts like a beacon and kind of a homing device to a mysterious island in the Bermuda Triangle. And they all kind of join up together in order to go to this island and find out what everything is going on. And on this island, they discover a lot of strange things, strange creatures, Ponce de Leon's ship, and an entity, kind of a ghost-like being, who tells them that they are descendants of an ancient race of being that had these powers connected to relics or artifacts that are on the island. Each of these teens are, I believe, would be able to possess the power of one of the relics, and the entity would like them to use those gifts to protect the island from some mercenaries who have discovered it, because on this island it turns out that the Fountain of Youth is there. So far, I am liking this story. I think, again, the writing is pretty quick, mostly because I think it deals with young people and the subject matter is action adventure, so it moves at a nice pace. There are like secondary stories for each of the teenagers, you know, giving them that angst and weight of what they're leaving them behind as opposed to what they'll be gaining on the island. What else can I say? Oh, the action and the menace picks up toward the end, which was really nice kind of cliffhanger, because it really does kind of hook you in and you want to read what's going to happen next. The artwork is pretty nice. I like it. It's a little slick because of the pages. It kind of reminds me of Morning Glories, that series over at Image Comics. It deals with teens also. Maybe that's why, because it deals with teens, so it has that light, bright, and I don't know if it's focusing. Yeah, glossy look. I think it's appropriate for the subject matter, being it high, you know, action adventure, youthful teens. Yeah, I like it. Oh, there's a picture of the island. So far, I am enjoying this story. Again, I've been liking a lot of the things coming out of Vault. It's very eclectic releases. Some are horror, some are more dramatic. They have some action adventure ones. This is a little more youthful than the ones I've read in the past, but again, nice solid writing here, great color and art. I believe most of Vault series are about 5 issues long, at least in their first release. I know they have some older series that have gone on longer. So what I do like about it is that I know that these stories are going to go at a good pace, and we won't have to find out what the big deal is like 3 years from now. 5 issues in, and I'll pretty much know what all this is about. And another one from Vault is, I don't know if I want to put this up. Yeah, let's go for it. Money Shot. This is written by Tim Seeley and Sarah Beatty. Drawn by Rebecca Isaacs, colors done by Kurt Michael Russell, and the letters done by Crank. Tim Seeley you may know from Dick Grayson series. That's how I know him. I love the Dick Grayson series. I have the omnibus over there somewhere. The writing and the art style are definitely something that I enjoy. Tim Seeley can be a little sexy in his writing, so him writing a tale about scientists who do porn isn't really surprising to me. Yeah, you heard me right. A group of scientists who do porn in order to finance their space exploration and scientific research. Let me back up a little bit. The story is that aliens contact us in the near future, around 2027 or something like that. And they want to see if we have evolved enough in order to join the interstellar community. There are worlds out there where beings are interacting and communicating with each other because they have reached this level of enlightenment and scientific success. Unfortunately, we do not make the cut. They will not allow us to sit at their table. We have just not evolved enough for their liking. So they leave a gift, maybe a form of transport with us, and tell us, once you figure this out, give us a call. And then they deuce out. And to double down on the disappointment of the situation, Earth is pretty much just doesn't care about science anymore. And they put it to the back burner, and they devote most of their time, money, and effort to warring with each other, buying frivolously, and just ignoring any kind of cultural development. And that's where the scientists come in. They all are just dying to be able to use the artifact that the aliens left in order to explore space. But they need money, and the government won't give them money, and businesses don't see any profit in investing in space exploration, and most of the population just doesn't care. So one of the scientists, out of frustration of being unable to raise money, decides that what they should do is porn. They are going to stream these porn scenes, live action, online, and people will pay to watch them have sex. And part of the hook to make them different is that they will enlist some of the aliens they encounter to do some of their porn scenes with them. All of this in order to fund their project to explore space, to find and investigate new cultures, to possibly find medicine and cures. All of this has to be funded through porn. It's ridiculous. The artwork is pretty nice. Again, this bright, colorful palette, also reminiscent of what I just said about Relics of Youth. I'm trying to find pages that won't get my channel shut down. Let's go with this one. Yeah. And I like the cover too. It's fun. It's ridiculous. It's obviously not meant to be taken seriously in any way, shape, or form. It's just a fun, sexy comedy about, I guess you could say, the ridiculous of humanity, where we do tend to devote a lot of our time, money, resources to self-gratification than actual community evolution. Did I say that right? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Just go read it. All right, next up is something weird. It's called Everything. This is from Burger Books and is written by Christopher Cantwell, and the art is done by I.N.J. Colbard. Everything. So, I don't know if I mentioned this story before. I may have, but Everything is about a superstore called Everything. Think Super Walmart meets Costco. Or I guess that's Sam's Club, right? Yeah, and they dropped this store. They built this store in like a small town in, I don't know, America. And as these superstores tend to do, they do put a strain on the business community, the small business community in town, because they aren't able to compete. But that's not the weirdness that's going on with this store. I mean, people are disappearing or dying, and I'm not 100% certain why. That's really the thing about this story. I don't really know what's going on here. Did I show you the cover? It is so bizarre. You know something's off about it. You just can't figure out why. It's like in the periphery. It's not direct. You know what I mean? The horror is just not in your face. The menace is not just there. It seems to be just off to the side, just in your eye line where you know it's there, but you can't pin it down. And it's freaking me out and driving me crazy. The artwork on this is pretty good. I like the way it looks. There's the store. But honestly, I thought I was going to stop reading this after the second issue. Here's some more of the art. Because where I felt like it was telling me something, I just couldn't grab hold to what it is. It was just too elusive. But honestly, when issue number 3 came out, I picked it up. I just went for it because I am now desperate to know what the secret is. I am desperate to find out what exactly is going on in this store. Yeah, the writing is a little mysterious and elusive. The artwork is somewhat esoteric at times. You know something's just slightly off. You know what I mean? But I still haven't figured out what is happening. If somebody's reading this and you can tell me what is going on with this store, can you DM me and let me know? I mean, you won't be spoiling it because I've read it more than once now and I still am not certain what's happening inside of this superstore. So let me know if you know. And if you would like to pick it up, you can. I know this probably wasn't the best review of this story because I can't really tell you anything about it. But if you're interested in being confused and thrilled at the same time, I think this might be right up your alley. Wow. I've also picked up some new stuff. I haven't read any of the stories just yet, but I'll show you what I picked up. First is Locke Key, Dog Days by Joe Hill, Gabriel Rodriguez, and Jay Photos. You may remember that I spoke about this series about last year. It's a horror series done by Joe Hill regarding a family, the Locke family, who go back to their ancestral home because the patriarch of the family is murdered. They were lured there by a demonic entity, and also in the house they find keys that are able to do magical things. In this one shot, you get 2 stories. One is called Dog Days, where some kids play with the animal key, and then the second one is called Nailed It. Nailed It is the second story where we meet characters from the original tale, and I would say it's more of a continuation of that narrative. All of this happens after the events of the original story. I think you would need to read it in order to fully appreciate this story. So if you haven't read Locke and Key, this would be an opportune time to start. It is a very good tale. The artwork on it from Gabriel Rodriguez is amazing. I can show you a little bit of it, you know, a taste of his work here. This is from Dog Days. And this is from Nailed It. And by the way, I did meet Gabriel Rodriguez and Joe Hill at Comic-Con this year. And where is it? Yeah, here. They signed my book, my #1 of Locke and Key. Gabriel Rodriguez drew a little key hole for me there. that says welcome to Key House, I think. Yeah. And then there's Joe Hill's signature there. Yeah, they were both absolutely lovely. But yeah, meeting them was really great. If you haven't read Locke Key, you probably should read it before this. If you have already, a one-shot is out, which I will say may hint to possibly a second leg of this series. So check it out. And last, I picked up Far Sector. This is written by N.K. Jemisin. This is from DC's Young Animal series. Never heard of that or print. And the art is done by Jamal Campbell. That name sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is. But N.K. Jemisin, I do know because... Here. She is the author of the, what is the name of this series? The Broken Earth series. There are 3 books in this series. I have them all. They're scattered around the home, but this is issue number 1 or book number 1, the 5th season. This is a great book. N.K. Jemisin is a sci-fi author. She makes some of the best science fiction as of right now. Her world building is amazing. Her character development is just so robust. I loved this book. Loved it so much. And this series is amazing. I think it won an award. Yeah. That's how great it is. So finding out that she was making a comic series, I just had to go out and get it. I did not know at the time that it was going to be a Green Lantern book though. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, it's a Green Lantern story. What I do know a little bit about it is that this Green Lantern, I don't know her name, but she is an earthbound Green Lantern who is taken from Earth to another part of the universe because they, for some reason, they need a human Green Lantern. I'm not fully apprised of all of the story, but I will get there very shortly. Oh, the artwork also... Look at that. It is amazing. The detail, the color, lovely. I'm going to enjoy this thoroughly. Now, I don't know a lot about all of the Green Lanterns. I know, oh, wow. Sorry, that caught me off guard. Oh, somebody made a mess. Oh, this looks so good. I got this cover and this cover. I believe there was maybe 3 or 4 covers available. Not to me. They only had these 2 covers. But I believe there were others. They were just sold out. I also got an extra one to give away on the channel at some point in the near future. But as I was saying, I love N.K. Jemisin's writing. The artwork looks amazing. I don't know much about the Green Lantern stories. I know that there are multiple Green Lanterns from all over the galaxy. I know that Earth had more than one. And I know that they're not all related to that movie that Ryan Reynolds did. We forgive you. But yeah, I don't know a lot about them. So that would be interesting to see if I need to go back and read anything to pick this up. From what I did hear, that this could possibly be just a new character being introduced into the DC universe that could potentially have a bigger impact in more canon style stories. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I am excited for am I saying this right? Far Sector? Or yeah, Sector. Far Sector. So that's it, guys. That is what I have been reading currently and some of the new things that I have picked up. Tell me what you think. Have you been reading any of these things? If so, let me know in the comments below. If you've been enjoying them especially. If you can tell me anything about everything, I truly would appreciate anybody giving me some insight as to what the heck is going on in that story. DM me though, so I don't want anybody else to be spoiled by it. Thank you very much. Also, let me know what you're reading. I have been reading other things too. Like, you'd be surprised because I don't read a lot of Marvel, but have you read House of X and Powers of 10? I did. We'll talk about that in another video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great time. I will see you real soon. Bye-bye.